Hey there, everybody. Got another review here for you. So, Venom released their debut album, Vanquish the Demon, today. Super excited about it. So, let's get to this review, huh? Okay, so this album actually has a prelude, which I found very interesting. It was a little poppy, had a little bit of an EDM feel to it, as you know most of the tracks do. There was this voice, not sure if it was like, a child's voice or a woman's voice, but there was this voice, had a little bit of a talking in there, set the mood very, very well for the whole album, and just kind of, brought you in and kind of, gave you like an intro to the story, which, Prelude was supposed to do, of course. But it was really nice, very, 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 it was used very well, and it actually kind of, even though it wasn't necessarily, a full song or anything like that, it really kind of gave you the mood and the feel of the album, which I really enjoyed. So that was really, really nice. And then it transitioned into Wolfsbane, and the transition there was really, really nice. It wasn't like, that those kind of songs that flows where it feels like it's the same song or anything, but the transition was very, very well done from the prelude into Wolfsbane, and I really enjoyed that. And already reviewed Wolfsbane, so you can check out that review in the description. But it was an excellent follow-up to the prelude. Definitely really hit you with that power metal feel, since the prelude had a little bit of an EDM kind of poppy feel to it. Definitely lets you know this is a power metal album first and foremost, and very, very nice track transitioning between those two tracks. And so Vanquish the Demon, third track, title track, shortest track actually as well, but it was very, very surprising at first, because it starts off like super somber, and then within like 2 seconds it just gets, like super power metal again, which is kind of cool. I was kind of expecting it to, last a little longer, than it just like, oh yeah, here's some power metal right after that little calmish part. So really, really nice. Actually, excellently executed right there. The vocals in this were very interestingly layered. In the beginning, it sounded like they kind of they were kind of quiet, but I don't know exactly what they do with his vocals, but something about it like struck me. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. The vocals sound kind of cool there. So the vocals there sounded very, very nice. Drums were excellently sounded and played in this song. Like, the drums sounded great. So good job right there. A little breakdowny section was really kind of cool. I wasn't really expecting that too much at that particular part of the song, but that little breakdowny part that came in was really, really cool. The chorus was just extremely intoxicating, I'd have to say. Every time the chorus came on, I was just like vitalized, or just kind of had that kind of like really, really awesome, like powerful, power up feeling. It was really, really, really nice. Very, very, very nice chorus on this particular song right here. And the part where he's like, remember the times, and there's like his voice is like going in and out and up and down. I really, really enjoyed that. It actually made me raise my eyebrows. I was like, oh wow, cool. That's actually pretty cool. So, for a title track, very, very nice. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Very, very nice. And Second Wind definitely made me feel a little bit video gamey. Like, I kind of started thinking, like really old, like Super Nintendo games and old Sega Genesis games, all that kind of stuff. Definitely a very video gamey feel in that intro there. It was definitely a headbanger. Like, I could see this being played live, and just, steady headbanging throughout the whole song, like, throughout the solo, throughout all the verses and the chorus. I could definitely see this being played live, and everyone just steady headbanging to it, Really, really good track. Really nice track, bump while you're driving, I was thinking, I can't wait to put this on my iPod and then plug it into my aux in my car. I'm just going to be, like, vibing this power metal while driving down the road. But yeah, the keyboards into the guitar solo, I love. I love keyboards, when they're used like properly and effectively. And the keyboards into the guitar solo was very, very, very awesome. I loved it. And for me, this was probably the most power metal-y song. It was just the song structure and the lyrics just really just made you get that like the most power metal feel, in my opinion. So definitely good song, very nice. Kiss the Blade. Oh, okay, yeah, that bass though. Okay, all right. Huh. But the intro of this song, it really just made me think of beginning the journey. Just it made me kind of envision a person walking, holding their sword at the hilt, but like dragging it, against the grass, dragging the blade against the grass, and just walking out into the field. They're starting, a journey. They're beginning this quest to go to wherever destination. That's really what it made me think of. It was very emotional. Probably the most emotional out of the album for me. Is the way that the lyrics were delivered and the way the vocals were phrased just really kind of, it didn't make you really want to cry, but it was just really just kind of got you there and just really impacted you, and I really enjoyed that. It was very somber, but not like a ballady kind of somber. It was somber in kind of lyrical content and tone, but it was still a little intense, which was really good because that just added to the emotional impact of it. So yeah, that was very interesting. I really didn't expect it to have that kind of emotional impact on me, or just like in general. Um, yeah, very nice track. Actually, now that I think about it, this probably had the best voice out of the album. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, this. I think this has the best, like vocal wise. I think this is probably the best song because you just really feel it, and it just really kind of impacts you and just makes you kind of just sit there, and it just kind of makes you, gives you a little lump in your throat. You know what I mean? It was very nicely done, especially vocally. So yeah, that Kiss the Blade, best voice on the album right there. Stronger Than Steel. All right, super inspiring, like super positive. It just had that. I'm stronger than steel, and it's just that makes you feel like invincible, and like you can do anything and nothing can hurt you. Really nice, like awesome, just awesome. Definitely like a super power metal-y feeling song. At least lyrical wise, really good. Really enjoyed that. There was a little like break before the solo that had a little bit of a little electronic feel to it. Like it had the whole like EDM kind of thing, which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, because after that I thought they would break me back into like a verse or something like that, or maybe like a pre-chorus and do the chorus again, but it just like went into the solo. I was like, oh, okay, cool, awesome, nice. So yeah, that was really cool. So excellent job with that. Yeah. Ending and yeah, I don't know if that's it actually, but yeah, the ending was awesome. So great job there. And so by my side, already reviewed that. You can check that in the description, but definitely like okay, if you take Stronger Than Steel and then By My Side, and the moods of those are very like contrasting, so it was kind of cool how they kind of gave you like a happy-ish song, you can do anything, and then kind of like a little bit of a more sad kind of somberish type song. So it was kind of cool how they took those moods and contrasted them between those two songs. You're like, oh yeah, totally, yeah, we're so happy, and then it's kind of like, oh, hold on, it was a little cool. So I enjoyed that. But yeah, you can check that review out in the description as well. Frozen Heart. Definitely, the intro definitely made me think of Final Fantasy. It just made me think of Cloud and Materia, and it's like pretty much anything you see in Final Fantasy, that's what it made me think of. So the intro definitely reminded me a little bit like Final Fantasy, kind of like that stuff. And the way, and this is very interesting to me, the way that this song was sung, it almost sounded like a different person was singing. You know what I mean? And no, it's not a bad thing. Like, he's sang in like a lower register for most of the song, and it almost sounded like a different person. I was like, that's really kind of cool, because you hear him doing like the harsh vocals and of course the high vocals, and then he sings in like a lower register most of the time. It almost sounds like a different person, and it's really kind of cool because it just shows you how great his vocal ability is. Like, not just his vocal range, but just how he can keep everything so clear and precise with these different ranges. Like when he's high up, it's very clear, you can understand what he's saying, and when it's in a lower register, you can still hear it very clearly and understand it clearly, which was really cool. So props to him. Like, this dude's a very talented vocalist, but very, very nice. It almost sounded like a different person was singing, and very, very good song. I really enjoyed that one. The breakdown though, like, wow, the breakdown was just like devastating. Wow, but wow, great. The breakdown was just awesome. That was great. The breakdown was awesome, and then the ending was very, very abrupt. I kind of got lost in this one a little bit, and then when it ended, I was kind of surprised, and was like, oh, song's over. Oh, bummer. But very, 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 very nice. Very Unchained. Once again, awesome. The guitars are great, the vocals are great, drums, bass. I really, really enjoyed the harmonies in this one, in particular the vocal harmonies. They were just really, it was really powerful, and you felt them really, 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 really well. It was just, this particular song, I don't know why, but the vocal harmonies on this one were just probably the best ones on the album. They were very clearly pronounced, very, very well sung, and they just felt like they had more power behind them, for this particular song. I don't know why, but I was listening, and that's really all I wrote for that song was vocal harmonies. I was just like, these vocal harmonies are really, really amazing. And I'm not sure what makes them stand out from the others, but it was very, very, very pleasurable to the ear, and just accentuated the song perfectly, and were very well done. So yeah, excellent songs. Vocal harmonies were great on this one. Awesome. And so Heaven's Melody. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Okay. Return Winter Shadow. Yeah. Okay. So for the intro, I have Zelda ? Written down, because the intro reminded me a little bit of Legend of Zelda. But that's a good thing. So good job. And this was really this was the ballad song. This was more of a ballad than By My Side was. This was very, very poppy. And, it's not really a bad thing, but it was just very, very poppy and very ballady, Nothing wrong with that. The song sounded fine. But, just kind of, slower, the ballady thing. Probably the most poppy song overall, but very, very nice, like, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It was just like, slow ballad, you know how ballads are. It was a little poppy, so yeah, no, not bad though. Alright, now Heaven's Melody, haha. Okay, so you just listen to, a little poppy-ish ballad, and Heaven's Melody just comes in here and just like slaps you and just wakes you up. You're like, okay, back to the power metal now, kablam. So yeah, it comes back in, has a great sense of adventure to it, excellent power metal feel, and just gets you back to that feeling of, joviality, happiness and stuff, as opposed to, Heaven, Return Winter Shadow, very, very nice. It wasn't too intense at all, it just, kind of just snapped you out and woke you up, very, very nicely done. Not too intense, and there was a part where it went from, like a chorus shouting and then went into the solo, which I really enjoyed. The choral shouting was really, really cool to me. I just was like, yeah, 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 and then it just went into the solo, and the transition from that to the solo made it even better because you had like shouting, then you had a solo, and the way they transition into the solo from the shouting was very, very cool. Plus, anytime you have like a choir or somebody shouting along in a song, it's gonna be one of those like super hype songs. So yeah, awesome, 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 awesome. So yeah, very good song right there. And now Diamond, long song, longest song on the album and the closing track. Wow. Okay. So this song pretty much to me felt like two different songs. You had like the first half of the song, it was power metal-y and everything else, and then the second half of the song, from 5 minutes on, it sounded like a completely different song. It goes like super poppy, and there's some keyboard accents here and there, like other stuff. It's mainly just the little like vocal fading technique that pop uses a lot, and it's just kind of like it's kind of like a pump up song and a wind down song at the same time, if you know what I mean. Because like the opening reminded me of like Darude, the guy who did like Sandstorm and all that kind of stuff. And the solo was awesome. The guitar solo was great. Just really kind of fit in there, and just added a lot more flavor to it. Very, very nice. And then the 5 minute mark on, it was more of like, it kind of made me think of raves. It was just more kind of like like you went from a metal concert to the Electric Daisy Carnival. You know what I mean? But it wasn't really bad. It's just, I feel like it kind of went on a little too long, but I guess that's kind of what they were going for, because the way the whole song ended was kind of it was kind of a callback, and it kind of brought everything full circle. You know what I mean? Because the voice from the prelude came back in, and did some talking and all that kind of stuff. So it drug on a little too long, but that's a good thing, because it made everything come more full circle, and it was like a callback, because the main elements, yeah, I'll just talk about this. The main elements were, power metal and pop, or not really pop metal, techno, So it kind of brought everything back full circle from like the prelude, kind of how prelude went into Wolfsbane. The prelude was a little bit like EDM-ish, and then Wolfsbane was super power metal. The final track kind of brought that all full circle into one song. Kind of like if you're writing an essay and you have your intro, and then you have like your closing statement, and your closing statement, restates what the like intro or the thesis statement was, just with different words, kind of like that. So that was actually, good. They brought everything full circle, brought everything back, showed what they were going for. So the album as a whole, very, very nice, very interesting. It's definitely a great album. Like these guys obviously have a ton of potential and a ton of talent, vocally, keyboard wise, drum wise, guitar wise, bass wise. Very, very, very talented, very skilled, very precise guys. The only two things I'll say about this album is, after Wolfsbane, all the tracks seem to kind of have the vocals a little low and the instruments kind of loud. After Wolfsbane played, sometimes I had trouble hearing the vocals at points, and sometimes it was because of harmonies, or when the instruments got kind of busy under the vocals, they kind of faded out a little bit. So I mean, that and the final track where the EDM part kind of went on too long. But other than that, it was very, very nice. Neo Power Metal, that's a pretty cool label, because it kind of reminded me if you took Dragon Force and Amaranth and kind of mashed them together, you know what I mean? Because you had, harsh vocals, which kind of reminded me of Amaranth, like Henrik Wise, And then you had like the crazy keyboards and the guitars and, you know, the vocals. They kind of remind me of Dragon Force-ish, you know. They even had a song, forgot which track it was, but it had Sue from Galneris on it. I hope I pronounced the name right, but it kind of reminded me if you took Amaranth and Dragon Force and kind of mashed them together. Because, you know, they had like the EDM poppy elements that Amaranth has. And, you know, even actually, yeah, Fred even does harsh vocals on Dragon Force songs. So it kind of reminded me if you took those two bands and smashed them together. Because the way that they blended the EDM and the pop sounds, it didn't really feel overused, and I wouldn't say it felt needed, but it really fit, you know. They blended it really well, you know, like Amaranth does when they infuse pop into their music, but it really just fit. And even though you knew there was, you know, EDM type pop influences in there, even when they came in, you were kind of surprised because they actually kind of fit in really well, which was very interesting because, you know, By My Side and Wolfsbane didn't really put too much of that in there, so you didn't really think it was going to be as prominent in the album as it was, but it actually sounded good where they put it, and they actually utilized it pretty well. So, yeah, very interesting that they did that. But yeah, those are the only two like negatives. The vocals being a little low after Wolfsbane, and the final track having a little bit of too long of like the same, you know, thing playing over and over. But yeah, very interesting. I was very surprised by this album. You know, I was excited for it, but I was also very surprised because I didn't expect everything I heard, but it was very nice. I enjoyed this album tremendously. Very nice. Can't wait to these guys go on tour, and you know, can't wait for more albums from them later on down the road. Very talented guys. Very nice. Really well done. I mean, yeah, very nice. Definitely go check this album out. You know, go buy it if you like it. You can check out my reviews for Wolfsbane and By My Side. Links in the description. If you guys like these videos, give me a like, a comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and rock on.